everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Shiki Pets. Today we are going to make some cage liners. So what you'll need are some fleece. Multiple different patterns are always good. You're also going to use some U-Haul blanket. That is going to be the absorbent part. You're also going to need a measuring tape, scissors. Investing in a good pair of scissors is always good. You're also going to need pins and chalk or measuring tape or marker or even a meter. So now let's get started. So I first measured out how big I want my fleece, and it turned out to be 28 inches by 42 inches. You'll always want to make sure you measured it properly. Now I added 2 inches on each side just to give me room to sew and for any small errors. Now next we are going to want to measure it all out. So you want to take your measurements and your measuring tape, of course, and just measure it all out. So here is me doing it. You want to make sure that fleece is nice and flat because you don't want to make a mistake while doing this. If you make a mistake now, then you're going to have not a very beautiful cage liner. So you want to measure it twice. So the first time is up high and then the other one is a bit lower. This way you could put your tape or your meter across them both and it will make a nice straight line. You want to make this on both ways. I ended up using electrical tape. It's not the best thing to use to make a straight line, but it did do the purpose of this video. I just wanted to show you guys where I was going to cut. Usually I use some chalk and a meter and that works completely well, but my chalk is blue and the fleece is blue and it would be really hard to show you guys in this video. So once you have everything lined up, you are going to want to, wait for it, cut it. So you just want to cut all the edges nice and straight. Well, try cutting it the straightest that you can. I don't cut really straight. Probably a lot of you guys don't cut very straight either, but try doing your best. It will really help sewing wise. And ripping off that tape is not the best idea as this material is really stretchy, so not recommended. So just keep cutting until it's all done. You want to cut 4 material pieces, so you want 2 layers of fleece and 2 layers of U-Haul. Here I measured it all together, making sure everything is nice and straight. If it's not straight, go ahead and fix it. Now the way you want to layer this down is 2 layers of U-Haul. Then you want your 2 layers of fleece. Now the fleece pattern, the good side wants to be against the other fleece. So my good pattern side is facing up, and the plain blue fleece, the good side is facing down. Now you want to smooth everything up. Sorry if my voice is cracking a bit. Now you want to smooth everything out and then pin it all down. Smoothing out prevents lumps for later on when you're sewing, and pinning makes sure that all of your materials are together and equal while sewing. If you don't do that, then you can miss certain layers and so on. I pin them sideways. This is because if your pin on the sewing machine hits the ball, then you could break your pin. So this is how it looks like when you pin all around the fleece. And of course all the other layers as well. Now sewing time. You don't have to be a very good seamstress. You just need to know the basics. I don't cut straight lines. I suck at cutting straight lines actually. At sewing straight lines, sorry. But try your best that you could. Sewing straight makes the biggest difference in the world. And you want to sew along all the edges except one edge. You want to leave a nice hole in the middle of the edge. Don't put it in the corner because then all of your corners won't be even. But if you put it in the middle of a line, then that'd be perfect. It won't show as much. And you also don't want to sew directly against the edge, because if you sew against the edge, then it could come apart in the washer much easier. Now this is what it looks like when you sew all the edges together except one little hole. The U-Haul is still at the bottom and the blue fleece is still on the top. Now you want to take that hole and reach your hand in between the 2 layers of fleece. Now you don't want to be too rough with this because fleece does stretch really easy. So take the closest corner to you, to the hole I guess, and then you pull it out and you do that in a full circle. This will prevent ripping if you go to the closest one, and I find it's really the easiest way you could turn it inside out. So you just go ahead and do all of that until it's completely flipped out. Pull out all the corners, and make sure you pop out all the corners because once you sew that hole closed, it is pretty hard to pop the corners back out. That's what I'm doing right here. Next you want to, this is how it looks like actually. Now next you want to sew the hole closed. To do that I like pinning it depending on how big it is. I often forget to sew through one of the layers, so pinning it ensures that I'm sewing through all the layers, not just the top ones and so on. But if you do make a mistake, you can just always sew over it again. And some people can make some sort of hidden stitch and whatnot. I just sew the whole way across, as you can see right here. It's barely noticeable if you do it in the middle of a line, but if you do it in a corner, then your corner looks really different than the other ones. So it's up to you, but that's what I do. Now I want to sew on the inside of the fleece. This prevents bunching, and in the wash is really handy, especially with the U-Haul. The U-Haul is made out of recycled denim. It is really absorbent, but it bunches up and it's hard to explain what it does. But yeah, just trust me, you want to sew all the layers together. I just did 2 straight lines across. Some people do all the contour of it and stuff like that. And here is to show my really crooked sewing skills. So you don't have to be perfect about it, just try not being this bad. Now you can make multiple things. You can make cage liners this way, little pea pads. Pads are good for soiled areas, water bottles, hay, whatever. That's completely good. And never throw out your scraps. You could do anything with your scraps. Here's an example. This is a little ball that I made out of fleece. Your guinea pigs could definitely play with this. This is also good for rabbits and other small pets. Now please comment, like, subscribe for more videos coming soon.